So picture this. I'm standing in my mother-in-law's kitchen at 6 a.m. on Christmas morning, scrubbing pots that aren't even mine, while the rest of the family sleeps upstairs in their warm beds. My hands are raw, my back hurts, and I can hear my sister-in-law's alarm going off for the third time. That was my life for 3 years. 3 whole years. But here's the thing nobody saw coming. The quiet, obedient daughter-in-law they treated like hired help? She wasn't who they thought she was. Not even close. And when they finally found out the truth, oh man, you should have seen their faces. I'm Sarah, and this is the story of how I went from being my husband's family's personal servant to watching them literally beg for my forgiveness. Stick around, because this gets wild. Let me take you back to where it all started. 4 years ago, I met Daniel at a coffee shop. Total accident. He spilled his latte all over my laptop, completely freaked out, and offered to buy me a new one right there on the spot. I laughed it off. It was old anyway. We started talking. He was sweet, genuine, and honestly just different from other guys I'd met. We dated for 8 months before he proposed. Fast and simple. Nothing fancy, just us at that same coffee shop where we met. I said yes because I loved him. Really loved him. Here's what you need to know about me at that time. I dressed simply, drove a regular car, lived in a modest apartment. I didn't wear designer clothes or expensive jewelry. I was just normal, regular. And Daniel loved that about me, or so I thought. What Daniel didn't know, what nobody knew except my parents and my lawyer, was that I came from serious money. Like, serious money. My grandfather had built a business empire, and when he passed, he left everything to me and my brother. We're talking multiple companies, real estate, investments. The whole deal. But I hated that world growing up. Hated the fake people, the constant judgment, everyone wanting something from you. So when I turned 21 and got access to my trust fund, I made a choice. I'd live normally, work a regular job, meet people who liked me for me, not my bank account. I worked as a freelance graphic designer. Made decent money, enough to live on. Nobody needed to know about the rest. When I met Daniel, I didn't tell him. I wanted to be sure he loved Sarah the person, not Sarah the heiress. I know. Some of you are probably thinking I should have been honest from the start. And maybe you're right. But after growing up watching people literally change their entire personality when they found out about my family's money, I just wanted something real. Daniel seemed real. His proposal was simple, his love felt genuine, and I thought, okay, this is it. I'll tell him after we're engaged. We'll laugh about it, and everything will be fine. But then I met his family. The first dinner at his parents' house should have been a warning sign. Actually, it was. I just ignored it because I was in love and stupid. Daniel's mom, Patricia, answered the door and looked me up and down like I was something stuck to her shoe. Not even subtle about it. Just a full head-to-toe scan with her lips pressed together in this tight line. So you're Sarah, she said. Not asked. Said. Like she'd already heard things, and was confirming I was exactly as disappointing as expected. His dad, Robert, barely looked up from his newspaper. His sister, Monica, was on her phone the entire time. And his brother, James, just smirked at me like I was some kind of joke. Dinner was awkward. Patricia asked about my job. When I said I was a freelance graphic designer, she actually laughed. Not like a polite chuckle. A full laugh. Oh, so you're unemployed? That's what we're calling it now. Daniel jumped in. Mom, she runs her own business. Right. Very modern. She said modern like it was a disease. Then she asked about my parents. I kept it vague. Said my dad was retired, my mom did charity work. All true, just missing a few zeros from the bank account details. I could see her calculating in her head. No impressive job title from Dad. No mention of country clubs or social connections. I was, in her eyes, beneath them. And here's the kicker. Daniel's family wasn't even that wealthy. They were comfortable, sure. Upper middle class. Robert owned a small accounting firm. Patricia didn't work. They had a nice house in the suburbs, took one vacation a year, drove decent cars. But they acted like they were royalty. And I was the peasant marrying into their precious bloodline. That first dinner, Patricia didn't ask me to help with dishes. She told me, just straight up said, Sarah, clear the table while Monica and I have coffee in the living room. I looked at Daniel. He gave me this apologetic smile and shrugged. Like, just go along with it to keep the peace. So I did. I cleared the table, loaded the dishwasher, wiped down the counters. Patricia came in once to tell me I'd stacked the plates wrong. Showed me the right way like I was a child. That was visit number 1. After we got married, it got worse. So much worse. Every family dinner, every holiday, every birthday party. I was the help, not the daughter-in-law. The help. Patricia would call me the day before any gathering with a list. Sarah, we'll need you to arrive early to help set up. Bring a salad. Make sure it's nice, not grocery store quality. And wear something presentable, dear. I'd show up early. Cook, clean, arrange flowers, set the table. The whole family would arrive, eat, enjoy themselves, and I'd be in the kitchen doing dishes while they laughed in the other room. Daniel would sometimes come in and say, "Babe, just leave it. Come sit with us." But if I did, Patricia would find me later. "Sarah, I noticed you left the kitchen in quite a state. In our family, we clean as we go. I hope you don't keep house like that with Daniel." It was a no-win situation. Monica, Daniel's sister, was the worst though. She treated me like her personal assistant. "Sarah, grab me a water." "Sarah, my shoes are by the door, can you get them?" "Sarah, call that restaurant and make me a reservation." "Not please. Not thank you." Just commands. And James, the brother, would make these comments. "Daniel, you really picked a domestic one, huh? Very traditional. Barefoot and pregnant next, I bet." I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell them all exactly who they were talking to. That I probably made more in passive income before lunch than Robert's firm made in a year. That the charity boards my mom sat on had 7-figure budgets. That traditional. I had a master's degree and ran a design business that was actually doing great. But I didn't. You want to know why? Daniel. Every time I brought it up to him, he'd say the same thing. "That's just how they are. They'll warm up to you eventually. Just give them time. It means a lot to me that you're trying." He'd look at me with those puppy dog eyes and I'd fold. Because I loved him. And I kept thinking it would get better. Spoiler alert, it didn't. 2.5 years into marriage, I was exhausted. Physically, emotionally, mentally done. I was working full-time on my design projects during the week, and then every weekend was consumed by his family's demands. Birthday party, I'm setting up and cleaning. Sunday dinner, I'm cooking and serving. Holiday, I'm there at dawn prepping, and leaving after midnight when everything's clean. My own family barely saw me. My mom would call and ask when I was coming to visit, and I'd have to say I couldn't because Patricia needed help with some dinner party or event. My brother called me out on it once. "Why are you living like this? This isn't you. These people treat you like garbage. You don't understand. Daniel's family is important to him, and you're important to you. Or at least you used to be." That stung because it was true. The old Sarah wouldn't have put up with this for 5 minutes. But I'd gotten so caught up in trying to be a good wife, trying to make Daniel happy, trying to prove myself to his family, that I'd completely lost myself. Then came Thanksgiving of year 3. Patricia called me 2 weeks before. "Sarah, I've decided we're hosting Thanksgiving at our house this year. 25 people. I'll need you here Wednesday to start prep." "Patricia, I actually have a work deadline that week. I can come Thursday morning." Silence. Then, in that icy tone she perfected, "I see. Well, I suppose we know where your priorities are. I'll be sure to mention to Daniel how his wife couldn't make time for family." She hung up. I stared at my phone, and something inside me just cracked. I called my mom. Told her everything. The whole 3 years of being treated like a servant. Breaking down, crying about how I'd lost myself trying to please people who would never accept me. My mom was quiet for a long time. Then she said something I'll never forget. "Baby girl, respect isn't given to those who beg for it. It's given to those who demand it. You've been begging. Maybe it's time to stop." I didn't go to Patricia's house that Wednesday. Didn't call, didn't text, just didn't show up. Patricia called Daniel 12 times. 12! He came home freaking out. "Sarah, what's going on?" "My mom says you're refusing to help with Thanksgiving." "I'm not refusing. I told her I have a work deadline. I'll be there Thursday morning. But she needs help prepping. It's 25 people." I looked at him. Really looked at him. "Daniel, does your mom ask Monica to come early and prep?" "Monica doesn't cook." "Does she ask James?" "That's different." "Why is it different?" He couldn't answer. Just stood there opening and closing his mouth like a fish. I'll be there Thursday at 10 a.m. If that's not acceptable, we don't have to go at all. His eyes went wide. Not go. Sarah, it's Thanksgiving. It's family. I know. And I'm your family too. Your wife. But I don't feel like family there. I feel like the help. We had our first real fight that night. He said I was being dramatic. I said he was being blind. He slept on the couch. Thursday morning, I got up and got ready. But I didn't dress in the simple, modest clothes I usually wore to his family's events. I wore designer, head to toe, a dress that cost more than Patricia probably spent on her entire Thanksgiving dinner. Shoes that could have paid their mortgage for a month. The jewelry my grandmother left me, the stuff I kept in a safety deposit box and never wore. I looked like money. Old money. The kind you can't fake. Daniel's jaw literally dropped when he saw me. Where did you get that dress? I bought it. Sarah, that looks like it cost. A lot? Yes. It did. How did you? We can't afford. You can't. I can. We need to talk. But first, we have Thanksgiving to get through. The drive to his parents' house was silent. Daniel kept glancing at me like I'd transformed into a different person. In a way, I had. I was remembering who I actually was. We walked into Patricia's house at 10 a.m. exactly. I was carrying a store-bought pie. Not homemade. Store-bought. From a regular grocery store. Patricia opened the door, and I watched her eyes travel from my shoes up to my face. The calculation happening in her brain was almost visible. Sarah, you're late. And what are you wearing? A dress. And I'm actually right on time. You said Thursday. It's Thursday. 10 in the morning. I walked past her into the house. Monica was sitting on the couch scrolling through Instagram. Oh good, Sarah's here. Sarah, can you grab me a... She looked up and stopped mid-sentence. What are you wearing? Clothes, Monica. Same as you. I sat down on the armchair, crossed my legs, smiled pleasantly. Patricia recovered first. Well, we have a lot to do. The turkey needs to go in, the potatoes need peeling, the table needs setting. Sounds like a lot. What time are your caterers arriving? Caterers? Sarah, I told you, 25 people. We need to start cooking. We. The room went quiet. Daniel was staring at me with wide eyes. Robert had lowered his newspaper. Patricia's smile was strained. Yes, we. As in the women of the family. Interesting. Monica, are you helping cook? Monica snorted. I don't cook. You know that. Right. So by we. Patricia, you mean me. You want me to cook Thanksgiving dinner for 25 people. With my supervision, yes. I thought that was understood. I smiled. Took out my phone. Tell you what. Let me make a call. I dialed my assistant. Yes, I have an assistant. For my trust and business affairs. Her name's Jennifer, and she's amazing. Jennifer, hi. I need a full Thanksgiving dinner for 25 people delivered to. I rattled off Patricia's address. Yes, the complete package. Turkey, all the sides, desserts. Money's no object. 2 hours. Perfect. I hung up. Patricia's face was red. What do you think you're doing? Solving the problem. Dinner will be here at noon. Fully prepared, ready to serve. No cooking necessary. Sarah, that's going to cost a fortune. And we can't accept that. It's too much. We'll cook ourselves. You mean I'll cook while you supervise and criticize? No thanks. It's handled. Daniel grabbed my arm. Sarah, can we talk? Outside. We went out to the backyard. Daniel was freaking out. What is happening right now? The dress, the catering, the attitude. This isn't like you. Actually, Daniel, this is exactly like me. You just don't know me as well as you think. What does that mean? So I told him everything about my grandfather's business, the inheritance, the trust fund, the real estate portfolio, the investment income, all of it. He literally sat down on the patio chair like his legs gave out. You're rich. Very. How rich? I named a figure. His face went white. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wanted you to love me for me. Not for my money. I grew up watching people fake entire personalities when they found out about my family's wealth. I wanted something real. So our entire relationship is based on a lie? No. I'm the same person I've always been. Sarah, the girl from the coffee shop, the graphic designer, your wife. I just also happen to have money I don't talk about. This is insane. Do you know what we could have done with that money? The house we could have bought, the vacations. And there it was. The thing I'd been afraid of. Listen to yourself right now, Daniel. Not, why didn't you trust me? Or, how can I help you feel safe? It's, what could we have bought? He had the sense to look ashamed. I didn't tell your family because, frankly, they don't deserve to know. They've treated me like garbage for 3 years. Your mom has used me as free labor. Your sister treats me like a servant. Your brother makes sexist jokes at my expense. And you let them. I asked you to be patient. I was patient. For 3 years. I cooked. I cleaned. I smiled. I took every insult and every order. And not once did any of you stop and think that maybe I deserved basic respect. Not because of money or status, but because I'm a human being. Your wife. He didn't have an answer for that. So here's what's going to happen, I continued. We're going back in there. We're having Thanksgiving. And if your family asks questions, I'm answering honestly. And Daniel, you need to decide something today. Do you want a servant, or do you want a partner? Because I'm done being the first. The catering arrived at noon exactly. 3 people in white uniforms rolled in carts of food that made Patricia's usual Thanksgiving look like a kid's birthday party. Restaurant-quality turkey. Gourmet sides. Appetizers I'm pretty sure Patricia couldn't even pronounce. Desserts from a French bakery I had flown in special. The family started arriving. Aunts, uncles, cousins, Daniel's grandparents. Everyone took one look at the spread and started asking questions. Patricia, did you make all this? It looks professional. Patricia's smile was so tight I thought her face might crack. Actually, Sarah ordered it. Sarah, how wonderful. This must have cost a fortune. Monica butted in. Sarah apparently has money we didn't know about. Showed up in designer clothes and ordered catering like she's someone important. The way she said it. Like I was pretending. Like I was fake. My brother taught me a long time ago, if you're going to make a power move, commit fully. I smiled at Monica. You're right. I didn't properly introduce myself. How rude of me. I stood up, and I don't know, something about my posture changed. I stood the way I used to at charity galas and business dinners. Confident. Commanding. For those who don't know, I'm Sarah Chun, granddaughter of Richard Chun, founder of Chun Industries. My family's business portfolio includes commercial real estate, tech investments, and manufacturing. My personal net worth is somewhere around 40 million, give or take a few million depending on the market. Dead silence. I work as a graphic designer because I enjoy it, not because I need to. I live modestly because I prefer it, not because I can't afford otherwise. And I've spent the last 3 years being treated like household staff by people who assumed I was beneath them financially, socially, and personally. Patricia's face had gone from red to white. Robert had actually put down his newspaper for the first time ever. Sarah, Patricia started. Mrs. Harrison, in the 3 years I've been married to your son, you've asked me to cook, clean, serve, and accommodate for every single family gathering. You've never once invited me to simply attend as a guest. As family, Monica has ordered me around like I'm her personal maid. James has made demeaning comments about my role being barefoot and pregnant. And all of you have done this while looking down on me for not meeting your social and financial standards. Now hold on, Robert tried to interrupt. I'm not finished. The irony is that I could buy this house with what I spend on charity donations in a year. I could buy Robert's entire accounting firm with my quarterly investment returns. But none of that should matter. I shouldn't need to be rich for you to treat me with basic human respect. The fact that I am rich just makes your behavior even more ridiculous. You could hear a pin drop. Daniel's grandmother broke the silence first. Well, I always said there was something special about this girl. Nobody takes Patricia's criticism without flinching unless they've got a spine of steel. A few cousins laughed nervously. The mood was so awkward you could cut it with a knife. Monica found her voice. If you're so rich, why do you dress like you shop at Target? Because unlike some people, I don't need designer labels to know my worth. I wore this today. I gestured to my outfit, to speak a language you'd understand. Money, status, since kindness and family clearly don't mean much here. Patricia finally stood up. I think you owe us an apology. Coming into our family under false pretenses, lying about who you are. I never lied. You never asked. You made assumptions based on my clothes and my job, and decided I wasn't good enough. That's on you, not me. We welcomed you into this family. I actually laughed at that. Couldn't help it. Welcomed me? Patricia, you've treated me like a servant for 3 years. You've never asked about my life, my interests, my family. You've never invited me to lunch, just the two of us. Never called to chat. Never treated me like a daughter. You gave me commands and criticism. That's not a welcome. That's employment without pay. Daniel's aunt spoke up. Patricia, is this true? You've been making the girl do all the work at these things. She offered. I never offered, I said calmly. I complied. There's a difference. And I did it because I love your son and wanted to keep peace in his family. But I'm done sacrificing my dignity for people who don't respect me. Daniel stood up then. I waited to see which side he'd take. Mom, she's right. Patricia looked like he'd slapped her. Daniel! No, she's right. I've watched you treat Sarah differently than you treat Monica. Different than you treat any actual guest. I told myself it was just your way, that you were teaching her family traditions or something. But really, I just didn't want to deal with the conflict. And that was wrong. Sarah, I'm sorry. It wasn't enough. Not nearly enough for 3 years of dismissal. But it was a start. Thanksgiving dinner was the most uncomfortable meal of my life. People didn't know whether to ask me questions or avoid me completely. James tried to make a joke. So Sarah, need anyone to manage all that money? I have a team of financial advisors from Harvard and Yale. But thanks. He shut up real quick. After dinner, people started leaving earlier than usual. Nobody wanted to hang around for the awkwardness. Patricia cornered me in the kitchen while I was throwing away plates. Old habits. I suppose you think you're very clever. I think I'm very tired, Patricia. That's all. You humiliated me in front of my entire family. I told the truth. If that's humiliating, maybe examine why. She was quiet for a moment. Then, you should have told us about your background. Why? Would you have treated me better? Because if the answer is yes, that's even worse. That means you're capable of kindness and respect. You just didn't think I deserved it. She didn't have a response to that. I don't need your money, Sarah. I don't need anything from you. Good. Because I'm not offering money. I'm offering something harder. A chance to start over. To actually get to know me as a person. To treat me like family. But Patricia, I need you to understand something. I'm not asking for this. I don't need this family's approval or acceptance. I have my own family. I have my own life. I'm offering this for Daniel's sake. Because I love him. But if you can't treat me with basic respect, money or no money, then we're done. I'll be polite at gatherings. I'll send birthday cards. But the cooking, the serving, the free labor, the insults, that ends today. Daniel and I went to couples therapy. Turns out, keeping a massive secret from your spouse, even with good intentions, requires some professional help to work through. He was hurt I didn't trust him. I was hurt he didn't defend me. Both valid. But here's what it came down to. Did we want to fix this or not? We did. We both did. Daniel started setting boundaries with his family. Hard ones. The first Sunday dinner after Thanksgiving, Patricia called with her usual list of demands. Sarah needs to arrive early too. Mom, Sarah's not coming early. We'll both be there at dinner time. As guests. But who will help me cook? You've been cooking for 40 years. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Or order takeout. Or ask Monica to help for once. I heard Patricia's squawk through the phone from across the room. It felt good. Really good. Monica called me a week later. I almost didn't answer. What do you want, Monica? I wanted to say I'm sorry. For how I treated you. I waited. Didn't make it easy. I thought you were just some random girl Daniel picked up. Nobody special. And Mom kept saying you needed to learn how our family works, and I just went along with it. But that was wrong. You didn't deserve that. No, I didn't. Are you going to forgive me? Eventually, maybe. But Monica, you're 28 years old. You treated another human being like a servant because your mom said it was okay. That's something you need to think about. What kind of person does that? She was crying by the end of the call. Good. Sometimes people need to sit with their actions. Christmas rolled around. Patricia called and asked if we were hosting at our place this year. Our apartment is too small, Daniel said. Well, what about Sarah's place? Interesting. See, I still had my original apartment that I'd kept for personal reasons. But I also owned a penthouse across town I'd never mentioned. Old me would have stayed quiet. New me. Different story. I have a place that could work. I'll host. Christmas Eve, the family showed up to my penthouse. Doorman building. Private elevator. 3,000 square feet of city views. Patricia's face when she walked in was worth every awkward moment of the past 3 years. Sarah, this place is... How can you afford? I own the building, Patricia. This is just one of several properties. Monica wandered around looking at art on my walls. Is this an original? Yes. It looks like a Rothko. Because it is. Her jaw dropped. I'd hired caterers again, and a bartender, and someone to coordinate the whole thing, so I could actually enjoy the evening. Patricia tried to help in the kitchen, and the catering manager politely but firmly told her guests weren't allowed in the workspace. For the first time in 3 years, I spent a holiday with Daniel's family as a guest. As family, Robert pulled me aside at one point. Sarah, I owe you an apology. I stayed out of it when I should have said something. The way Patricia had you running around, it wasn't right. Money or no money. Thank you, Robert. That means a lot. Can I ask you something? Why'd you put up with it so long? Honestly, I kept thinking if I just tried hard enough, was helpful enough, kind enough, you'd all see me as family. Took me too long to realize respect isn't earned through service. It's given freely or not at all. He nodded slowly. That's wise. Probably too wise for this old fool, but I'm trying to learn. It's been 8 months since that Thanksgiving. Things aren't perfect. Patricia still makes comments sometimes, but Daniel shuts them down now. Monica and I are slowly building something that might eventually look like friendship. James moved across the country for work, so that solved itself. Daniel and I are in a better place. I'm still me. Still live modestly most of the time. Still work as a designer. Still drive my regular car. But I'm not hiding anymore. My family and his family have met. My mom and Patricia have a complicated but functioning relationship based mostly on their shared love of gardening, of all things. Last Sunday dinner, I showed up at Patricia's house empty-handed. Daniel asked if I forgot to bring something. Nope. Patricia said to just bring myself. He smiled. Progress. At dinner, Patricia served the food she'd cooked. We all sat together. She asked me about a design project I'm working on. Actually listened to the answer. After dinner, I started clearing plates out of habit. Patricia touched my arm. Leave it. You're a guest. I don't mind helping. I know, but you shouldn't have to. Monica, James is gone, so you're on dish duty. Monica's protest died when she saw Patricia's look. Small victories. Here's what I learned from all this. You teach people how to treat you. For 3 years, I accepted bad treatment because I wanted to keep the peace. But there's no peace in losing yourself. Money didn't change how they treated me. Respect did. Standing up for myself did. Having a partner who finally saw what was happening and stood with me did. The designer clothes and the penthouse and the catering, that was just theater. A way to get their attention in a language they understood. But the real change came from me deciding I deserved better and not backing down from that. If you're in a situation where you're being treated like less than you are, where you're shrinking yourself to fit someone else's expectations, where you're doing all the work emotional, physical, or otherwise and getting none of the respect, hear me. You deserve better. Not because of your bank account, or your job, or your status. Because you're a human being. Stand up. Speak up. And if the people around you can't handle you taking up the space you deserve, that tells you everything you need to know about them. As for me and Daniel, we're good. Better than good. He knows all of me now. And he loves all of me. The regular girl from the coffee shop and the heiress with the trust fund. Both versions, because they're both me. And his family, they're learning. Slowly, that the quiet girl they underestimated is actually the strongest person in the room. Sometimes the best revenge isn't proving them wrong about who you are. It's proving yourself right. Thanks for sticking with me through this whole story. If it helped even one person find their voice and stand up for themselves, then sharing it was worth it. I'm Sarah, and I'm done being anyone's servant.